What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Get this, Jarrell Miller posted this recently on his Instagram, and he had this to say. He said, "There's a lot that can be said or should be said, but if you know me, I ain't the one to make excuses. Take it on the chin, chest up, keep moving. I'll leave that shit to punk ass Beyonce Wilder. At the end, my little bro Dubois got the win, but I beat myself. Back to the drawing board, and it's time to kick my own ass. Hashtag boxing, hashtag Tyson Fury, hashtag boxing news, hashtag Deontay Wilder, hashtag Anthony Joshua, hashtag boxing highlights, hashtag boxing hype, hashtag boxing drills." And let me counterpunch. Clever play to Jarrell Miller to really spring it on the comparison between himself and Deontay Wilder. You know, like, hey, let me show you how a real man or a true challenger takes defeats, unlike that guy. Right? That's exactly what he's doing, you know, and he's saying, like, hey, I could have said a lot. I don't make any excuses. But to counterpunch Jarrell Miller, when people say, hey, I beat my own ass, you know, what else did he say? I beat myself. Now it's time to kick my own ass. And listen, you got beat by Daniel Dubois. You can say you weren't ready. Okay, that may be true. The question is, does that warrant an excuse? I'm not sure. I'll let you guys decide that. For me, I think it's a lot better than what Deontay did. Look, what Deontay did, though, when he took those losses, he showed cheap, poor, piss poor character. So you can't, like, you can never really come back from that. All you can really do is move forward, because what people are going to acknowledge about you, you don't take losses worth a damn. You don't. And what Jarrell Miller is saying, well, yeah, I got beat. Yeah, I beat myself. I want to say a lot of things, but I'm not going to do that, unlike this guy. But I'm going to say I beat myself. No, Daniel Dubois beat you. You know, I appreciate him saying, hey, my little bro Dubois got the win, and I took it on the chin. Bars. Right? But at the end of the day, you know, you wasn't prepared. Just because you wasn't prepared doesn't mean you beat yourself. You know, a lot of times people do that because they're trying to snatch the credibility from the fighter, but at the same time say or mention something positive about the fighter, not necessarily negative, you know, and expect to get the praises. That's not gonna fly here. No one told you to come in that fucking ring 340 pounds or whatever you were. Nobody told you to do that. You did that on your own. You took it and you thought you beat yourself. Well, your ego was big enough to think that you can beat Daniel Dubois in that type of condition. And obviously you found out you couldn't. So the whole thing is, what you need to do, you know, sure, get back to beating your own ass. But at the same time, you need to really change, you know, and him talking about the lost steel, though, think about it. Jarrell Miller talking about the lost steel without talking about this other shit that could land you in jail. That tells me, people, that maybe a lot of that shit was sprung from the loss. He's not talking about, hey, I'm innocent, I'm out of jail, you know, I'm out on bail. You know, he's not talking about that. That's what people want to hear, because you came back after making millions, after becoming a millionaire in Saudi Arabia, and you came back to the States and allegedly done one of the dumbest things you could have ever done. So, you know, I'm forced to believe from Jarrell Miller, you reverting to the loss and how you take a loss versus how Deontay Wilder took a loss, but then you just recently lost but we're not talking about the loss you took outside the ring by going into jail. So I just find that strange. You know, you got to ask yourself which one outweighs the other. And in this case, I have to say, you know, him getting beat by Daniel Dubois. So is it fair to say, people, okay, if he would have won by Daniel Dubois, would we have seen that shit show or alleged crime that he committed in Florida? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how that affected him. We don't know, because I mean, he took a lot of punches. You know what I mean? He seems fine. He seems, you know, he doesn't seem slow. He doesn't seem like Fernando Vargas, talking real slower than he normally talks. He doesn't look like he's suffering from any brain damage. But, you know, you're definitely like suffering from some type of ego damage, because you're talking about a loss when you should be talking about the latest thing that you were recently caught up in. Okay, but back to Wilder. That was a poke at Wilder, you know, and I do agree, you know, he did take it a lot better, 10 times better than Wilder. Wilder made every excuse in the book, and he had channels and people and movements and shit to help him. So yeah, at least, yeah, he did that. But that, you know, still, that doesn't really erase what you recently done in the court of law, right? So you guys tell me what you think of Jarrell Miller taking a stab at Deontay Wilder. I'll keep this in mind. I want Jarrell Miller now, since he talked all that shit about AJ, I want him to have the same energy when he's around Deontay. Okay? I want him to keep that same energy, because I think he geared more towards AJ because he was a British fighter. And he said, well, hey, I need allies. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk a little shit about Deontay and Anthony Joshua and Deontay. So I wanted to put somebody on my side. You see what I'm saying? But no, there is no sides now. Both of you got your ass whipped. So guess what? When you see him again, hey, it's supposed to be a reckoning, because now you're talking about Deontay away from Deontay. You see what I mean? That's no different from Deontay saying something away or not in front of AJ. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Jarrell Big Baby Miller. You guys tell me what you think of Jarrell Miller blasting Deontay Wilder for not taking the loss like he should, like he did, like he would. Bars. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched.